It's that time again.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Welcome to the Courtside Podcast. I'm your host, Wayno, and with me, the People's Champ, Vinrok. Vince, welcome back to the show.
Wayne Michael Hunt, how are you?
I don't know where you're pulling all these middle names for me every week, but I'm okay. Thanks, mate.
It's good. Sound good.
Oh, my goodness. Of course, we're joined by Sydney's second richest man, Stu Benson.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we both?
Riding high on a 2-game winning streak, so we're going all right.
Well, yeah, on that middle name thing, if you shorten Michael to Mike, what does that make it?
Stop it.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
We're not kid-friendly anyway, I suppose. So.
Not really.
Have not been for years, so Mike Hunt away. Yeah, Sam's going to be one of those nights. Load up lots of tablets. We should get ready to roll. Let's jump into it, boys. The Atlanta Hawks guys, 14-20 on the season, 3-7 in their last 10, 2-game losing streak. They just fired their coach today, 2 years into his contract. I'm confused. Guys, what the hell's going on in Atlanta?
Something stinks in Atlanta because they've sacked their coach. They're shopping John Collins around. I'm not entirely sure. Didn't they just extend him last year?
I know they're 14-20, but, you know,
A lot of injuries.
It's so tight right now in the East, like in that midsection. If they go like 2-game win streak, you know, they go from basically 11th all the way up to like 5th or 6th. So something's not right. Something like I feel like it's like, what happened?
Trey Young, coach killer.
You reckon?
I don't know.
Something's fishy, right? Something's fishy though, right?
I've thrown it out there, so I'm going with it. No, something's weird, man. Like I think management surely ran it by Trey. Surely.
What do we know about this Atlanta Hawks team, right? I think we've all felt, you know, especially coming out of last season with the new additions they made this year, that, you know, they were going to be playoff bound or at least pushing it. We thought that Trey would be making this jump. We all, you know, from the vibe I get from us when we talk, we're all pretty much fans of John Collins. You know, they got lots of pieces, but we know that there's been head clashes between John Collins and Trey Young and the offense that's been run. We know they've had player meetings about it, and I think it's, from my memory, I can remember that happening twice. I think Atlanta just either makes the call is John Collins in or out. You know, he's been on the trading block, it seems, for a while now. Is he part of the future? Is he not? I just didn't expect the coach to be gone so quickly.
Look, keeping John Walls if I say it again, I swear to God, keeping John Collins is a no-brainer for me. But if you look at their acquisitions, maybe ownership thought or management thought we've brought in Bogdanovic, we've brought in the Rooster, we've got some young talent. Maybe they thought they'd be 500 or a little over 500, or maybe Nate McMillan's done a Phil Jackson and just got the coach out of the way, like he did to Doug Collins back in the day.
Oh, you reckon?
I don't know, but it came out of nowhere.
Just doesn't seem to be his stick, though. Like, usually there's a little bit of history, that sort of thing. Nate McMillan tends to be a bit of a standard guy from...
Yeah, I'm just spitballing here, Wayne.
Okay.
Well, I just checked Twitter at lunchtime and it's like Lloyd Pierce fired. I'm like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Like, they're not doing that bad. Like,
yeah.
You didn't hear any rumblings or anything apart from the two clashes between Collins and Trey Young. So,
you know, I think the problem that they stated was Collins's frustration with the offense. So, you know, I mean, I read that as maybe Trey Young's long balls is starting to hurt the offense a little bit. You know, maybe starting to check a little too.
Well, they're only going to shoot more with McMillan coaching. So, but you look at it that way, maybe Collins is not long for Atlanta.
I think sometimes you know, I know we always say that, you know, ultimately the players are the ones that take the hardwood and the players are the ones that really should be priding themselves on both ends of the court. But if you look at their roster, whilst they're young, they've got some great pieces. They should be performing better, but they have had injuries as well. And obviously, you know, like Rondo and things like that. But I don't know. They should be performing better. So maybe management's just like sick of this, you know, whatever it's been, like a fucking 7 season rebuild, and they just want to ramp this thing up. And maybe they just lost faith in the coach.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get that vibe. Hey, I don't know. Like the start, I just don't know. And you can be very well spot on the money, but I don't know. Usually there's a little bit of a vibe with that sort of thing. Like, online anyway, like the fan base have, you know, had it where they coach. Like you can generally get a good read from it. None of that from Atlanta fans online. Like he's lucky he's not coaching in fucking Minnesota. It would have taken him 6 years to fire him. Like,
but are there any Atlanta fans online?
There are a few.
Okay. Well, as you know, Wayne, I've been Zoom calling with Rob Pelinka regularly.
Well, of course.
So I'll just try to sort out our centre position. So I'll ask him next time I'm on. Get back to you on that. If he's heard anything, because we're pretty close. I'm a consultant, as you know. Why are you laughing, Wayne?
I'm laughing in support.
A joke you remembered from earlier today.
Yes. Like, do you guys see this team making the playoffs? Do you see them turning this around? Do you think this is sinking ship vibe? I mean, before the coach firing, I was like very much of the opinion was like, well, it wouldn't take much. Like I said, you know, it wouldn't take much for this team to hit a 2-game, 3-game win streak and be right back up there in the playoff picture. But now I'm kind of like, where does this leave the team? Was this discussed with the team? You know, where does this leave Atlanta Hawks moving forward?
It was definitely run past Trae Young. I'm not sure if it came across John Collins, but look, they'll improve under McMillan. Everywhere McMillan's coached, the team's improved. So I'd give them a sneaky chance to improve and sneak into the playoffs. They've got enough talent there, like Benson said before. There's plenty there. It's just getting it all together and on the same page. Yeah,
we're not halfway through the season yet, and I mean, shit, the East is so open. Like, you know, I'm just looking at the standings now. Like, with the exception of Detroit, who are 9-25, Orlando at 13-22 are only 3 games behind the Charlotte Hornets, sitting in the 8th spot. So that's 8 through 14 up for grabs, let alone how tight 7 through 4 is. So, yeah, they're definitely a chance of making the playoffs if they can right the ship. But, yeah, whatever the issue is, it's got to be tweaked because talent-wise, they're young, but they're a great team. Anyone's doing my head in is Reddish, but anyway.
He's frustrating, right?
Yeah, he just goes missing sometimes, and his shot, like for a guy who's a shooter, can be either dead on or fucking woefully off, like Paul George's side of the backboard off.
To me, he just feels like the exact same player he was at Duke.
Yeah.
Like spurts, you see the potential, but just like you said, like that whole lot of nothingness in between. It's like, what? Like, put it together, man.
Yeah, he's obviously got it because, I mean, they're still very high on him and they try and get him into the rotation as much as they can. But, yeah, something's amiss. Maybe it's just this roster. Maybe it's this role he's playing. But they've still got a very talented roster, and playoffs definitely still in the picture.
Well, a team that doesn't really need to worry about making the playoffs right now is, of course, the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, guys. They are 23-12, 5-5 in the last 10. Got the win today against the Indiana Pacers, I believe. I suppose when it comes to Philly this year, obviously they've made the acquisition and, you know, brought in Doc Rivers. And is it enough for them to make a run at the NBA Finals? Is it enough for them to topple the Brooklyn Nets? Thoughts?
Well, for me, if they want to topple the Brooklyn Nets, I think Simmons has to keep playing at this high level, really dominate the defensive end. Embiid, we all know what he's going to do, but Harris has to play well. And I think guys like Seth Curry, Dwight Howard really have to have good playoff runs, especially Seth Curry. If he and Danny Green, they've got to be hitting. I think that's the only way they can match the firepower of getting past the Nets.
Yeah, I do think it's a 2-horse race at the moment, and I agree. I think it's the Nets and the Sixers, and then daylight. I think that's very clear. I like the pieces that they've got, and I like the way they're playing, and I like the way they've run it back to what it was 2 seasons ago, which is surrounding, you know, Simmons and surrounding Embiid with guys who can make buckets, and they've got plenty of them. Obviously you got Curry, you got Green, you got Korkmaz that can fill it up, and then you've got obviously this sort of super high performing third wheel in Harris. They've got the firepower if they're on, and they're going to be an absolute handful in a 7-game series this year.
The guy that always surprises me is Shake Milton.
Oh, I love that guy.
He can fill it up real quick, man.
Bucket.
Dude, I'm always like, wow, shit, like that kid can, like, it's kind of that thing, like, I like it because even though, we've spoken to on Philly in the past about them, shedding themselves of all these outside shooters and thought it was a bit mental, but, you add a guy like Shake Milton who has a different sort of game, can create his own bucket, can get in amongst it, can shoot the outside shot, but it's almost like, he can really create for himself.
Yeah, he's an X factor that we haven't seen them have before. I mean, they had Jimmy obviously a couple of seasons ago as well, but way different type of a player. And honestly, Milton's just got a green light. Like when he's on, it's on.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the way Harris is playing under Doc Rivers.
Same, totally different player, right?
Yeah, I think Doc Rivers has just been a godsend for him. Like he was just sort of stuck in neutral for a bit, but Rivers has sort of got more out of him. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost argue an all-star spot for him, really.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. I
don't know who he bumps out, but 20 points a game, 7 boards, and 3 assists. Like,
yeah, probably should have been an all-star, actually. But
pretty good for the third wheel, right?
More than pretty good. That's like Benson said, he's going to be an X factor as well, just like Milton. Like, he's just got to really turn it on and help out in the playoffs.
How many years he's been in the league now? Because, like, I remember him in Milwaukee. I remember at the trade to Orlando. Like, he's been around the block, right? Like, he's...
He's been a Clipper. He's been around.
Still only like 27, 28 too. So
yeah,
I mean, it's remiss of us not to mention, honestly, how good has Embiid been?
Oh man,
yeah, but don't tell me he's MVP, please.
You can be a candidate.
He's definitely in the conversation. He is. I mean, they're sitting at top of the East, and he's the motor behind it all. I know Simmons is elite.
Is he though?
He is, man. I'm telling you. He sits out, they lose. It's that simple.
I think Doc convincing Ben Simmons to be more of a point guard, your traditional point guard, and look to pass first doesn't get enough credit for Embiid's productivity.
I think you nailed it a little bit because my thing when watching Philly games is this year with Ben Simmons, it's almost like, you know what, dude? Forget about the fucking 3-point shot, but do everything else. Just do everything else. And like... And that even goes down to, him, I feel like even taking a challenge from Doc defensively this year. We mocked him maybe a couple of weeks ago about the whole him calling himself the best defender in the league and then getting smoked a little bit by D-Book. But that aside, he's been pretty on point.
Booker's going to smoke a lot of good defenders. So,
yeah.
I mean, Mashburn dropped 50 on Pippen one night.
Love the Mash.
He was great.
So do you think they have enough, or do you think there's maybe a move to be made in Philly, or do you think it's just steady as she goes?
I would like them probably to add another piece. Maybe the thing I keep coming back to is firepower against the Nets. Because the Nets, if they're all firing, don't worry about the defense not being played. They'll just outscore you. Too many things have to go right, if you know what I mean, shooting the ball. It'd be interesting. It'd be a very interesting series if they do meet.
Well, we should move along now to the Western Conference, guys, and we're going to talk about those pesky LA Lakers. Pesky, 24-11, 5-5 in the last 10. 2-game win streak, Vince. Not bad. You guys bringing it back around. You guys might have saved your season now.
Oh, come on.
I'll tell you what. I watched the game after work today. We just look like our old self moving the ball. We look like we had a bit of energy back. I think we just mentally struggling a bit. But yeah, active on D. We're moving the ball. Look like we're having a bit of fun out there, like we did last season. So
that's been the difference. The last couple of games, it looks like we're enjoying our basketball a little bit more. I think the whole. I just think no AD and obviously no Schroeder. I just think that the morale was probably down a little bit, but Schroeder definitely peps them back up again, and they can afford to cruise for a week or two.
Yeah, I definitely think the short break from winning the title to get yourself. They got themselves up again to start the season. They had, hit a bit of a lull, I think we've turned it around.
I'm still thinking we'll finish with the 1 seed. I mean, for fuck's sake, Utah won't keep it up.
If they do, mate, they're not getting past us.
Doesn't matter.
That's just a given.
Exactly.
Do we know how long Davis is out for?
At least another 4 to 5 weeks.
And how's the new addition? I forget I forget his name. The new young kid you brought in.
Damian Lee, I think it is. Yeah, he's solid. He's
Jones. Damian Jones. Damian Jones.
Damian Jones. Sorry, yeah, he's solid. Not overly massive centre, but he can finish an alley-oop.
He's got bunnies. He's got hops.
Yeah, he does have hops. He's solid. He's solid, but like I said, he's not a number one target. Number one target will be Whiteside and Cousins.
You think he'll still make another move for another bid?
We have to.
Oh yeah, we definitely will.
We have to. Look, bless his picking heart, but Marcus Gasol's tried, but he's better off the bench. I'll say this though, he is hitting the 3-ball at a better clip now, which helps.
Yeah, we get him so open.
Yeah, but he's just so. Yeah, he just can't.
He moves like he's 8'11".
He does.
He really everything is just so slow and lumbering. Like honestly, I reckon he would lose a foot race to Boban.
He would. It's amazing how he's just declined athletically. Like I know he was never that super athletic. He could move.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but
he was better than
I know he wasn't.
Dude, I'm not sure who would win between him and Zebo in their prime in a high jump competition. Like,
I don't know. He just.
It does feel like we've got Avidas Savonis on our team. Like,
it does. It does.
Like Avidas today.
is there any team out there that you guys have got your eye on, like, you know, they could be a bit of trouble, hit a 7-game series again?
The Nets are the won't bother me.
Any team that has 2 MVPs and that flog Kyrie Irving, you got to respect them. You got to worry about them. I'm not worried, but I respect them. But I still think we can beat them.
Yeah. Anyone in the West? Anyone in the West for you guys?
Nah, no one in the West, mate. Look, Utah. Look, again, I love Quinn Snyder. He's about the only one I like. No, I love Joey Ingles, but they're not going to. They're no threat to us in the playoffs, mate. They just don't get it done. They're perennial pretenders.
Oh,
yeah. I don't really think there's anybody in the West that and I say this hand on heart. Like Denver is still not what they were last season, and I don't know if they can be. And as silly as it sounds, like they miss pieces like Plumlee. Like it's just. It's blindingly obvious when you watch them play, and something's amiss there. I mean,
they miss Jeremy Grant, Stu.
Big time, huge. They miss Jeremy Grant.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, big time. But dude got paid, so good on him. But yeah, massively. You know what? Like, I don't know. I think if anyone's going to give us like a little bit of trouble, it'll be someone that we probably don't respect, and we do get lulled into that, particularly in third quarters of almost every game. But like Phoenix, like someone like Chris Paul with a chip on his shoulder. I'm not saying they beat us in a 7-game series, but Book with something to prove in the playoffs. Ayton is a very good player. I don't know, someone like that would maybe just make you go, whoa, shit, they've just taken 2 games off us. But apart from that, I don't see anybody in the current top 8 that would bother us in 5 games, let alone 7.
Maybe the biggest fear for the Lakers heading into playoffs is injury. You know, you got a full squad. You know, you are the defending champs for a reason, but you know, if you have if you have Davis or someone of that caliber go down again, especially right before playoffs, and it takes a little too long for him to come back, he could be,
That's totally fair. But I mean, we're definitely gearing up to make sure that that's not as big of a problem with whoever we end up picking up. But yeah, you're right. Again, to have acquired 2 6 men of the year in an off season, and then to have the emergence of like Horton Tucker and obviously Kuz giving us games when he can, but yeah, I definitely think that we're the defending champs for a reason, as you said, and it's got to go through us.
Well, our final team, which many teams have been going through this season, the Sacramento Kings. 13-21, 1-9 in their last 10. Forever bad, it seems. Just seems forever bad. I put a little post up on Facebook the other day. Who is the worst franchise in the league? And I think without a doubt Sacramento was the answer. But they just need a culture change from top to bottom. I was saying to Vince last week, De'Aaron Fox, You know, he made a good leap this year, but who else?
Because he cut his hair.
He cut his hair, yeah.
They do have a young guy waiting in the wings, so they're very high on him. It's Aaron DeFox.
Aaron DeFox?
Yeah, Aaron DeFox. Not a lot of people.
No audio evidence to back up your theory on this. Okay.
Nah, look, Wayne, you are 100%. You know, for years we watched the Clippers just be a basket case. You finally get a good owner in and the culture changes. Everything changes. Vivek Ranadive, absolute peanut of an owner. That's where it starts. That is 100% where it starts. Get rid of him. Get someone who knows what they're doing, owning a team, and it will turn around. You can get Greg Popovich coaching that team, and it won't change.
Yeah, I don't know if Walton's the coach for this team though.
They're at 500, Stu.
I know. It feels like he's lost him though, and I'm not knocking Luke. Like I love Luke as a player, as a coach. I just feels like he's lost him.
Well, you know, you pointed out to me last week, Vince. You know how garbage Buddy Hield is playing right now.
Is he doing this on purpose?
He is like, and he's like, you know, nearly 10 points a game under his normal scoring average.
Yeah, I've got this weird I'm fuck you to the franchise vibe with him.
Because he, you know, we've talked about in the past, you know, him and his back and forth about his contract and whatnot. And I don't know, man, like it's just he should have been a guy who come out this year, much like Fox, who had made a significant jump. Marvin Bagley III, same fucking situation. He's a guy whose dad's on fucking Twitter demanding that they trade him out of there. I mean, fair enough. But still, like, fucking, what about all his fucking teammates and guys he goes to war with night in, night out? Even when you're fucking losing, that's not something that you need. But he is a guy who fucking begged for more minutes, got more minutes, and is still losing.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, he'll drop 26, and I don't get me wrong, I'm still high on Marvin Bagley, but he drops 26 and gives up 30 the other end.
Yeah. I tell you what, if he ever gets traded or ever demands a trade out of Sacramento and he goes somewhere else and he doesn't look like fucking the next superstar, then, you know, it's going to be so much like egg on his face, basically. Maturity
is a big thing for him. He hasn't matured yet. Even Kobe, rest in peace, when he matured, he became a better player, a better leader. I'm not saying Marvin Bagley's going to be as good as Kobe, but some guys just take longer to mature, and that's why I take a gamble on him to trade for him, because he's got everything. I think just in the mind, he's just still a big kid.
I think at best, there's still a 500 team, even at best.
Yeah.
The roster doesn't do a lot for me.
I mean, I like their rookie, that Tyrese Halliburton. I think his name.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Pieces of that, man.
That awkward shot he's got. I even like that. What's the undersized center they got there with the real springs in the legs? Is Holmes, is it?
Yeah. Is it Richaun Holmes?
Oh, Richaun Holmes, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I like him. To me, he feels kind of like a poor man's...
he was a little bit Dwightish when he was at Philly.
Well, I was even going to say even like a bit poor man's Harrell or something like that, you know?
Stop it.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's fucking Michael Jordan. Calm your fire, will you?
How good's Trez, man? I love Trez.
But yeah, I mean, just, I don't know. Like, I think the sad thing, I think you're spot on the money, Stu. It's like Luke Walton's going to become the next bullet to fall out there. And then where do you go from there with this squad? I mean, like, it doesn't, like you said, Vince, as well. Like, it's what coach do you bring in to fix this? Because it's not a coaching problem. It's a starts at the top and goes all the way down to the bottom problem. It's a head office problem. It's a culture problem. And when it becomes a culture problem, you're seeing what Luke Walton experiences night in, night out is poor effort levels.
Yeah. Mate, I think Ranadive interferes more than we know.
Oh, yeah, I reckon that's definitely the case. Because Vladdy's not there anymore, is he?
No. What would you give Vladdy out of 10 for his general manager tenure?
0. He whipped on Luka. He gets a 0.
True.
But he drafted Fox.
Yeah.
You mean Aaron D. Fox?
Oh, Lordy, man.
I feel like we're going to have a free Harrison Barnes moment, though, because he'd be too valuable to a playoff contending team to leave him there. It just feels shit that he's on that squad. He deserves better.
He's a free agent after this year, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think. Is this it? Is this the last year of his?
I've got a feeling it is. If it is.
So what? He bloody hopes so.
You know who'll sign him, don't you? The Grizzlies.
What's that?
The Grizzlies will sign him.
Nah, we don't want him.
Yeah, you don't want him.
We don't want him.
The Grizzlies type of player, to be honest.
I speak for everyone. We don't.
Sonny's cousin, Harrison DeBarnes.
You mean Barris and Hans? Yes. See what I did there?
We do, Wayne. We do.
Look, let's wrap up Sacramento, guys. Where is this franchise in the next 5 years?
In Seattle. I mean, no, look, I don't. I want him to stay in Sacramento. I do like Sacramento. I've got a little soft spot for him. Look, if the owner's still around, in 5 years, I see Fox gone. I see Barnes gone. I see Halliburton probably gone. And I just see them back in the lottery because
just another bunch.
Mate, the owner's rubbish. You know it. I know it. Benson knows it. The whole world knows it.
We've spoken way too much about the Queens. Let's move on.
Probably that time anyway, right?
It is that time.
Jersey Worthy. Who's your Jersey Worthy of the week, gentlemen?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Look, I just trying to think of which Laker player to give it to. No, I'm going to give it to a former Laker, actually, former Cav. I'm going to give it to Jordan Clarkson. Just been balling his butt off.
Oh, yeah.
Massive reason why they're so good.
Nice. I like it.
Instant offense.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie he pulled off the other day?
I did.
Oh, dude, on Michael Carter Williams?
Oh, my goodness. And then, like, the insult wasn't even the fall to me. The insult was his whole lackluster layup attempt and just kind of went in.
I was going to say the worst part was when SportsCenter ran the clip of it and Michael Carter Williams jumped on Instagram to defend himself.
No.
What?
In the comments section. Like,
Did he really?
Yeah, they posted a video of it just like with the eyeball emojis, which is just like, check this shit out. And then Michael Carter Williams, like, official account, writes in the comments section, like, yo, we tripping. Look at the way my ankle rolls, but dude got me good, respect. Like, shut the fuck up.
Dude, stop it.
Stop it, man. Don't give us, my ankle gave out. Shut up.
Go home, sit at home, jump on YouTube and watch your first game for Philly against LeBron. Enjoy that, and then just hush, child.
How go from, like, that's honestly one of the greatest rookie debuts of all time, and now we get this shit.
Yeah.
Very. I was tossing up between another former Laker, Mr. Randall.
Oh, yeah.
Very deserving, but I'm going to go with, because they're not going to get much love in any other category this year, Cleveland Cavaliers, Colin Sexton.
Oh, man. I had him on my list as well. He's balling.
Nice.
Who did they beat today?
They got Philly yesterday.
But they're a team you can't sleep on because they get big scalps, you know. Like, I mean, obviously the Brooklyn one not so long ago. The scalps are not so big. They've knocked off Houston for their 12th loss in a row, but
yeah, they got Brooklyn twice, didn't they?
Yes, back to back, right?
Yeah, I just love the young bull, man. He backs himself like 1,000,000,000%. He's a defensive dog, and he reads the game like his gap play, not even just to get steals, but just to stop plays from happening. He's fucking everywhere. I really love watching him. He's a very good basketball player.
Yeah, what do you have? 39 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists in today's game as well. So,
shit. Watch that later. Wow.
Nuts. He's nuts. My Jersey worthy goes, I think he could have went to 2, but I think after today's game, they got a pretty good win against the Utah today. But, man, I'm going to go with Lonzo Ball today. 23 points. Yeah, 23 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. I like the fact that, we've heard for, I'd say, the last 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer, about David Griffin making certain players in New Orleans available in trade, a la JJ Redick and, of course, Lonzo Ball. But you know what? Sometimes the best moves are the ones that you don't make. And to hear Zion Williams talk about Lonzo today after the game and wishing that he got more respect than he gets in the league. I think, it's clear those two have a connection. You've just got to ride out some of the bad games with Lonzo, but I think, you've got something special there. And I just feel like his 3-point percentage is really fucking good this year as well. Like, stay with this kid. Don't.
Oh, they cannot get rid of him.
Dude, do not get into a pissing contest for draft picks with Oklahoma City. Like, you're probably not going to win it anyway, but it's like you've got enough here to build. Keep building.
Yep. Man, if I'd have said Randall, we would have got the ex-Lakers sweep.
I thought you were going to go with it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Mate, I'm just sitting here with a smile on my face because I've backed this kid in since day one, and he's shoving it right up the haters' butts.
His 3-point shot, and particularly his corner three, is fucking wet. It is wet.
He's got a pretty good percentage, I think. I think he's beating out like some of the better shooters in the league this season. Yeah, percentage-wise, anyway.
Yeah, not surprised, man. Honestly, that when they find him deep in that pocket in that corner, it is literally never anything but net. It's incredible.
And his brother's not doing too bad himself, actually. He nearly got it tonight as well. Like, ball battle. Wait, that sounds wrong. Anyway. When you have winners, you have losers, gentlemen. The Brain Fart Award. Who gets your brain farts?
I've got an honourable mention. Oh, first, I'll give you that first. I'm going to give the honourable mention to Matt Calvert.
What did he do?
Well, Matty, he's an Orlando fan. Leave him alone.
Yeah, that's first. That's his big problem. So he decided to talk smack about the Lakers, and if you do that, I'm coming after you. So he said on Facebook, it just goes in the memory back for when, not if, the Lakers fall off the face of the earth, right? Because I'll keep telling him that, they keep drafting players for us, Shaq, Howard, this goes on. Of course, Wayno chimed in because someone's giving me shit. And I just said, give me a spell. I'd back us in to win more titles quicker than the tragic as I watched my 2009 final series. But anyway, my true brain fart, I don't know if you saw the Denver Nuggets footage. Please tell me you saw that.
Oh, what's wrong with that? That's not a brain fart.
What happened? I missed it.
Stu, shut the fuck up. God, I love you, but please, just count your money. Count your money and be quiet, please.
Weirdly, I feel a bit hurt that you said that's Stu and not me this time.
I mean, you're down by 2. You get the steal. You're running down the court, and all you need is a 2. You run out of time. 3 players run to the 3-point line, but all Michael Porter had to do was cut to the basket, take the alley or just the pass, go to overtime, try and win the game that way. No. 3 players, 1 takes a 3, bad miss, they lose.
I was trying to reverse jinx you and talk you out of that because that was going to be mine. Have you ever seen a stupider play in your life?
It's what is wrong. This is what the Golden State Warriors.
It's not their fault, bro.
It is. It is.
No. Let me tell you why.
This is what they've caused. Everyone wants to shoot a 3.
I'll tell you why.
This is their legacy. No, please.
Look,
please.
It's not Golden State's fault.
They
have 2 of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history.
Yeah, and now everyone thinks they can shoot 3s.
Every other clown fucking franchise thinks they can replicate that.
Exactly. Denver Nuggets, Exhibit A.
They had 3 other people that could have made a dunk or a layup. I can't.
Stu,
insane.
I've never sworn so much at the TV. Never.
The more you watch it, the more angles they show you, and they show you like the bird's eye view and everything, and it's maddening. You're like, fucking hell, like I could have tied the game. It
actually sickened me. And if Mike Malone called that, he should be fired immediately.
I agree. It was so bad.
Stu, who have you got for your brain fart?
I don't know, because that was going to be my glaring.
Co-sign it.
I will go Mr. Bradley Beal.
Oh.
Getting trapped against the Celtics yesterday in the dying seconds. When they were up and allowed the steal, which allowed Tatum to win the game.
Wow.
You're too good for that. You're an all-star. You're the man. It's your team. Russ inbounded it to you for a fucking reason, and all you had to do was hold on to it for 1.5 seconds. And yeah, it just kind of sums up their season. Although I still think that they're probably playoff bound as well, but we'll see.
Washington, did you say?
Yeah, no, it's late. Yeah, it's late. He's delirious.
I'm not buying it.
They'll sneak into an 8.
They've definitely, 4 or 5 game win streak now, I think.
They can't not. Honestly, they can't not. Those two guys alone, they've got to be an 8 in the East.
No, I'm not buying it.
All right, we'll see.
Stu, look, I know you could sell a house to anyone. I know you're a good salesman, but I'm not buying that shit. They're not.
Right. We'll see.
My brain fart award goes to Kyrie Irving for his comment the other day, and just his whole fucking racial undertone to changing the NBA logo. And I said to Vince before, I don't care if you change the logo. Like, honestly, I don't really feel either. Like, I don't have a problem with the current logo. If the players' union and NBA feel like they need to change the logo, then so be it. Don't have a real problem, but don't get on your Instagram page and whatnot, and the same shit you're fighting against, and then be a fucking hypocrite and use a racial undertone to sell your fucking to sell your goal using your platform doing it. It's absolutely a hypocritical move from him. I was very pissed off when we recorded last time, but it didn't make the air, so you get the toned down version. But I just find it disappointing. I really want to like the guy, but I just, he's out protesting against racism, and yet, it comes across as very racist.
Maybe he meant like Bernard King and Stacey King. Settle down.
Maybe.
Okay, do we end the show on this? It seems quite negative.
Actually, Nelly was going to say it for my Jersey worthy, but I feel like we should just give it its own separate little head nod because maybe like everyone's favourite player, especially if you're a New York fan, but Joakim Noah announced his retirement.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I would have taken him again in Memphis. He was fantastic when he was out there. And I've got some cool clips and stuff of him talking about his time in New York and whatnot, and just facing all the the injuries and stuff he had, and talking about the surgeries and the toll the surgeries took on him, and him being basically a young knucklehead in when he signed his massive deal in New York, and him talking about he didn't feel like he was looking back on it, he wasn't ready for that, and facing media and stuff. But man, to see a guy humbled like that and just really appreciate his role in the league and what he can offer, I would not be surprised if he ends up on someone's coaching staff.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, the New Zealand Ramrooters in the NBL are trying to sign him.
Are they really?
Well, the Twitter account is.
Is that legit? Wow, that'd be awesome.
He's not going to. They tried last year. They're trying again.
Okay. Okay.
I think his body's done.
I think so too. I think it's a broken down body. But there isn't a player in the league that played with Prime Noah that would have had him on their team. Like there just isn't. Like he just a smart, high IQ dude. Seriously, like nothing he did on the court, with the exception of some of the mannerisms and stuff like that. Like everything was with a reason, whether he was trying to wind up your star or get under someone's skin. Or just everything he did was cerebral. Like honestly, I know he came across like a giant stoner because he smoked a lot of pot, but he just a baller, man. Like really, really, like him and that squad, like that Florida squad, like when they all came out, like those guys,
Horford, man.
Yeah, like those guys were unbelievable. Like what a squad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the defensive presence Noah brought, fantastic. I like the fact later on, in his time in Chicago, where we really started to see how good of a passer Noah was.
Mm.
I mean, I just, tip of the cap, enjoy retirement. Like, I was just so glad that, for a guy who seemed a little out of control at least, from my exposure to him, signing Memphis for, that year and a half, it was good to see how humble he was and whatnot. And I'm actually a little bit disappointed he didn't get another shot, like, in the league. He's definitely not a starter or anything like that, but for a guy coming off the bench, give you hustle points and D. And
how many years in Chicago did he play?
Oh, I don't know. I think what I read today was that he's trying to get retired there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just do one of those, signing per day or whatnot. But that'd be.
Yeah. Oh, is that what he's angling for?
That's what I read today. I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, just sign there and then retire.
Yeah. That'd be a cool full circle for him, I think. And that would give someone like him, a bit of closure too, because it's hard when you see your players you look up to, and look at Blake Griffin right now. Do you know what I mean? Kind of sucks. Although that's a conversation for another show, because I don't think he's done just quietly.
Okay, yeah, me either. Okay, he spent 9 years in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you retire his number?
Ooh.
No.
I don't think you can do it before Rose.
He played 42 games in Memphis. Do you retire his number?
I'll take it. I was ready to retire Josh Selby as well. So.
Because he actually stepped it up, because the year before in New York he averaged 1.7. Goes to Memphis, 7.1.
He was good, man. Like I say, I got nothing but positive things. Obviously, had my doubts.
Actually, he shot over 50%.
We obviously have a lot of, we've got a few New York Knicks fans, and they definitely voiced to me their concerns I should have when he came to Memphis from New York. But he was, obviously, had learned a lot and sat out a lot of games, and, nothing but good things to say about Joakim Noah.
I mean, first year in New York, solid, 46 games, 5 points, but he was getting nearly 9 rebounds, and he was nearly 3 assists.
After he signed his big contract in New York, after his first game, he was saying there was 60 people in his apartment after the game.
Wow.
And
smoking.
Made reference that, you don't bounce back quite as well than you do when you're younger. Like in his Chicago days, you're a lot younger, bounce back a lot quicker. But
fuck.
So, I think his life was just maybe a little bit out of control at that stage. And, yeah. I mean, that sucks if you're a Knicks fan. You probably still don't want to hear that. But
didn't they drop 50 mil on him or something?
A lot of dough.
Yeah. Well.
Did he ever end up playing for Paris or for France? Sorry, I know when they were talking about back in the day, back when he was in his prime, that he was going to maybe represent.
Not that I recall.
Think so.
No, maybe not.
Oh, hang on, let's give that a quick Google. Huh?
I don't recall.
I just knew there was talk of it back when he was in his prime, because the French were getting all excited because they had Tony Parker and they had Boris Diaw and they had Joakim Noah. But I used to know whether he committed or whether or not he committed to Team USA. Yeah, he did. In 2011, it's saying that he got a silver medal at the Eurobasket competition.
Because I vaguely remember a picture of him and Boris Diaw standing next together in their France jerseys. But
yeah,
I was I could have also made that out of my head.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, tip of the cap. Injuries are shit, but yeah, great career all in all.
He was an all-star. He was once or twice Defensive Player of the Year. Just once?
I think just the once.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, he was good, but I don't think people probably realise it or remember it because of the sort of the decline. But yeah, man, in his prime, much respect.
Well, gentlemen, it's been emotional.
I got nothing.
Watch out! Here it comes! Watch out! Here it comes! Watch out! Ball